On the night of September 1st, 2018, a call came into the Largo Police Department in Pinellas County, Florida. A young mother, frantic, bleeding from a head wound, walked into a Hampton Inn and told a story that would grip the entire state of Florida. Her 2-year-old son was gone, taken, she said, by a stranger. His name was Jordan Belliveau. His foster family called him Mr. Chuckles. To understand this case, you have to understand how Jordan came into this world and the systems that were supposed to protect him. Jordan was removed from his biological mother, Charisse Stinson, when he was just 6 months old. He was placed with a foster family, Sam and Juliet Warren, who cared for him for most of his short life. They nicknamed him Mr. Chuckles because of his bright, boisterous personality. They were trying to adopt him. Then, in the spring of 2018, against the advice of Jordan's own court-appointed guardian, the Florida Department of Children and Families returned Jordan to his mother, Charisse Stinson. Stinson, 21 years old at the time, had herself grown up largely in foster care. Court records showed a troubled background, a history involving domestic battery incidents, unemployment, and an eviction notice filed just 2 weeks before Jordan's death. A DCF caseworker visited Stinson's home the day Jordan died. They saw nothing. 3 months after being returned to his mother, Jordan was dead. Charisse Stinson told police she had been walking down the street with Jordan when a white Toyota Camry pulled up beside them. The driver said his name was Antwan. He offered them a ride. Once inside the car, she said, she was suddenly punched in the face and blacked out. When she woke up, she said, she was alone in Largo Central Park. No Antwan. No Toyota Camry, and no Jordan. Within hours, a statewide Amber Alert was issued. Law enforcement from multiple agencies launched a massive search. The community rallied. Volunteers combed through parks and neighborhoods. Family members wept on camera and begged for Jordan's safe return. But behind the scenes, detectives were already suspicious. Parts of Stinson's story, they said, simply didn't add up.
I don't believe you one bit, Charisse. You are a liar.
No.
You have not told me the truth all week.
No.
That is a fact. That is a fact. The fact is he's there and he's dead. The fact is you walked by, you left him there in the woods behind that dumpster. You left him there, and you carried his backpack and you left it here. And you made all this up to make it look like you're not a monster. You are, because you don't even have the courage to tell your son's story. Something happened to him when you were responsible for him. I don't know if he was dead when you left him or if you just left him there in the woods all alone, dying.
At her apartment, investigators found something that would change the course of the investigation. Toddler-sized clothing, soaked in blood. On September 4th, just 3 days after Stinson reported him missing, Jordan Bellivau's body was found in a wooded area behind a baseball field near the Largo Sports Complex. He was lying in 5 to 6 inches of water, partially covered with brush. The autopsy would later reveal blunt force trauma. Jordan had a skull fracture, a brain hemorrhage, and bleeding beneath his scalp. He had a broken leg and deep cuts on his body. Investigators confronted Stinson, and in the interrogation room, the story she had carefully constructed began to collapse.
Tell us what happened that night.
Do you want to just tell us what was going on that night? Do you want to look at the map, or what do you want to do? I don't know exactly. You see Culver's marked?
Mm-hmm.
The apartments here are the Lafayette apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yesterday we talked about it, where we found this backpack.
Mm-hmm.
It is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the picture I showed you yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Jr.'s body is found right here on Lake Avenue in the woods at the sports complex behind a fenced-in dumpster. He was in the water. It wasn't deep water. It was pretty shallow in a wooded area.
Police played surveillance footage. A camera near where Jordan's body was found had captured a figure, a woman, walking away from that location, carrying only a backpack. A detective laid the evidence out plainly. Stinson then made what police called significant admissions. She admitted there was no Antwan. There was no white Toyota Camry. She had made up the entire story. She had even inflicted the wound on her own head to support the lie.
He just passed out, and I just panicked.
He just passed out?
I could have called, so I picked him up. I could still hear him breathing a little bit in my ear, so I picked him up. And I just got really scared, so we walked. Is this?
Yeah.
What's that street?
This is Dean Park Drive. You're about to cross right there. This is where the camera sees you.
But it's called something else too. It's like a M. I walked to the park.
Right on the side of the Palms, like between the community center and the Palms.
I walked to the park. I just needed to breathe.
Did you throw the backpack away? Here?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
I needed to breathe. Because at that point it was like I already knew what was gonna happen.
Sure.
And then I came back and it was just tragic.
How long do you think before you came back?
I don't know.
According to Stinson's own confession, detailed in the arrest affidavit, here is what actually happened the night of September 1st, 2018. Jordan already had an unexplained serious injury to his right leg at the time. In a moment of frustration, Stinson struck Jordan in the face with the back of her hand. The force caused the back of his head to slam against an interior wall inside their home. Jordan began having seizures throughout the night. His condition worsened through the following day. Stinson did not call 911. She did not take him to a hospital. Instead, as Jordan's health declined, Stinson carried her son's body to the wooded area where investigators would later find him. She then injured herself to construct her cover story, walked across the street to a Hampton Inn, and told police she had been knocked unconscious by a stranger. Surveillance cameras captured her walking through the streets of Largo that night. Not unconscious in a park. Walking, alone, without her son. Charisse Stinson was arrested at 8:40 p.m. on September 4th, 2018, just hours after Jordan's body was found. She was initially charged with first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse. Bond was denied. The case moved through the courts over the next 2 years. A trial was scheduled for March 2020, but the COVID-19 pandemic caused delays. Then, on October 13th, 2020, Charisse Stinson stood before a judge and entered a guilty plea to second-degree murder and filing a false report to law enforcement. The judge sentenced her to 50 years in prison. She also agreed to repay the Largo Police Department $27,900 for the cost of the search. Before sentencing, Stinson addressed the court. She told the judge she had changed. She apologized to Jordan's family for the pain she had caused. Jordan's father, Jordan Belliveau Sr., was not present, but he made his feelings clear. He told reporters he felt the punishment was not enough. The death of Jordan Belliveau didn't just end in a courtroom. It sparked a legislative reckoning. Florida State Representative Chris Latvala drafted what became known as Jordan's Law. Signed by Governor Ron DeSantis in 2019, the law required major reforms to Florida's child welfare system, limiting caseworkers to no more than 15 cases at a time, improving communication between child welfare and law enforcement, and mandating special training to recognize signs of head trauma. The Warrens, who had tried to adopt Jordan, took in his younger sibling after Stinson gave birth while awaiting trial. Jordan Belliveau Jr. was 2 years old. He loved people. He made everyone laugh. They called him Mr. Chuckles. He deserved better from every system that was supposed to protect him.